Well, hey guys, I'm David Dornan, and I want to start by kind of introducing myself and giving you a little bit of background on me. After I graduated from college, I moved down to the Atlanta, Georgia area, where I began a commercial real estate career. Back when, as some of you know, that was a better thing to do maybe than it is now. But I started on the retail end. And the main reason for that is I could work more like 9 to 5 type hours originally, and as an agent, I had relative freedom to kind of come and go from the office as I wanted. And as long as I got my sales done and got my work done, I didn't really have to worry about how much time I spent at the office, which was great. Now, the funny thing was, after I was there for a couple of years, I got my first sort of real promotion in the corporate world. I suppose I'd had other promotions before from waiter to head waiter, but not anything that was significant. And I got promoted to an operations manager position. I was excited about that. It was a new embarkment into my career. And after I worked there for a couple of months, I realized a funny thing happened when I got my promotion, and that was that my life got worse. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, and maybe it hasn't, but I went from working 40 hours a week with some freedom and being able to come and go as I wanted to working more like 50 or 60 hours a week and being tethered to my office computer. That, for my personality, is death. I really don't enjoy that at all. But unfortunately, I didn't make that known to anybody, did my job well again, and after a couple of years got promoted to a junior partner position at the same firm. I guess I was naive and took the job thinking this time it'd be better, and I started working about 60 or 70 hours a week, which was very interesting. Not to mention the fact that I had got promoted above a bunch of other guys who had been at the company about 15 years longer than I had, which meant everybody that worked for me now hated my guts, which was really fun. So every time a problem would come up, they'd be like, I don't know, Wonder Kid, why don't you figure it out? We're going home. And I thought, oh goody, so I get to spend all my time at the office. And my wife was a software trainer. Her company sold practice management software to orthodontics offices. And so she would travel to extremely exciting locations around the country, like Muncie, Indiana, or Manhattan, Kansas. Apologize to anyone who lives there. I'm sure they're lovely, but not maybe high on the Condé Nast travelers list. So she used to go there, and each time that she would do a training, it took about 5 days. There was a day of travel time, a few days of training, and then a day to travel back. Well, when she did 1 or 2 trainings a month, she traveled 5 or 10. On the months where she did 3 or 4, she would often travel 15 or 20 days in a month, and I was working, 60 or more hours a week. And so we would literally, it made for a very interesting marriage, because we would high five in the hallway and try to catch up Tuesday for lunch or something, and it made it very interesting. Now, in contrast to that, my parents, for the last 40 years or so now, have been in the business of helping people, just like my wife and I, create additional cash flow or income outside of what they do for a living, so that they maybe don't have to work quite so many hours. Which, of course, to all you intelligent people out there would beg the question, why didn't I do that? If my parents have done it for 40 years, one would think I would have gone to my parents right after college and said, "Oh, wise mother and father, please teach me all you know about making money." I didn't do that. I had never listened to them before, so why would I start now? So it took me a few years to figure that out, and finally, I came back to my folks and I said, okay, teach me exactly what it is you guys do, because I never really understood it. I knew they had made money and they helped people make money, but I didn't really know how. So I sat down with my dad, and he began to talk to me about what we're going to kind of chat about over the next few minutes today. First thing he chatted about was what my financial plan was. Now, this may be funny to you. I didn't really have much of a financial plan. Some people are going back to school, sort of popular right now, to try to get advanced degrees in hopes of getting a better job. There's no PhD in real estate, so it wasn't really like I could move on from there. Some people will work multiple jobs or work a second job. Also not really an option for me, because I was already working, 6 days, 5 or 6 days a week, and, pretty nonstop. So I didn't really have extra time to moonlight. For other people, they will be, and I hope this is not you out there, waiting on Social Security, sort of a laughable financial plan at this point, I think. But the most common one, and the whole premise of what we're going to talk about today, is based on the principles that there are 2 types of money that people spend, okay? The first kind of money is what we call anyway money, which is all the money you spend now anyway. That's like your house payment, your car payment, bills, and then clothes, food, and all your sort of outgoing expenses every month is what we call your anyway money. Everything left over is what we call your asset money. Now, if you're anything like I was, my dad first talked to me about that, I kind of chuckled because I didn't have any asset money. It was like, what is this asset money you speak of? Because I don't have any of that. I have lots of anyway money. I understand that concept, but the asset money thing I was missing. I remember when I was 21, about 10, 11 years ago, I was working as a waiter in downtown Atlanta, and I made about $1,500 a month. And I remember thinking at that time, rather naively, who needs more money than that? Like, dude, I'm rich. I mean, $1,500 a month, I can buy anything I need. Top ramen, peanut butter. My truck was a piece of junk, so I had no payment. I lived with 43 other guys in a townhome, so my rent was low, and so $1,500 a month was all I needed. Then a few years later, I was making $15,000 a month, and I was broke because, $15,000 a month, as we all know, after taxes is like 8 or 9. Then after a few $1,000 house payment and a couple of car payments and my, satellite TV bill, I was making 8 and spending 9 and going, theoretically, I was making 10 times the money, so I should have had 10 times the savings, and yet I didn't, because my expenses expanded to fit my income, whatever that was. And I know there's a lot of you out there that are like that, but there are many people watching this who may be disciplined people. Good for you. No, just kidding. But no, that is wonderful. And if you are disciplined and you are saving your asset money currently, putting it in things like 401ks or IRAs or real estate investments or anything like that, great. We say keep doing it. I'm not your financial planner. I'm not here to tell you what you do with your asset money. But what we do, what my folks have done for decades now, is teach people how to take a portion of their anyway money and actually help convert that into a way to create assets. And that's basically what we do. So if you're new today watching this, this is the point where you can take a deep breath, right? I'm not going to pull out a garage full of diet cookies or anything like that you're going to have to invest in. This is actual, money that you would currently spend anyway. And all of this is based on the principles of an author named Robert Kiyosaki. He wrote a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which you may have heard of. He also wrote another book called the Cashflow Quadrant. And some of the ideas in there relate to our business pretty well. He talks about how people are divided into 4 main categories. They're either employees, or they're self-employed, small business owners and professionals. They're larger business owners, or they're investors. So what he basically says in that book is that 90% of the folks are either employed or self-employed and professionals. Most of the people I meet fall into that category, doctors and attorneys and teachers and real estate people and whatever. But they only comprise about 10% of the wealth. Why? Well, because everybody on that side of the quadrant does what I did. You trade time for money, right? You work X amount of hours, you make Y amount of money. So if I sold a shopping center, I made money. If I didn't, I didn't. So don't get me wrong, there's a lot of rich people on that side of the quadrant because there are people who trade their time for a lot of money. The problem is they're rich, but not what we would consider wealthy, because rich people have money and wealthy people have time and money. So there's a difference, right? On the right side of the quadrant, you have the larger business owners and investors who are more the people we would consider wealthy. So if you're a small business owner that owns, say, Dave's Burger Shop somewhere in the Atlanta area, it would be a lot different than somebody who owns 50, franchise chain restaurants all across the U.S. That person would probably not have to show up every day in order to run those restaurants, and they're certainly not working the drive-thru on weekends. Whereas, Dave, if I own Dave's Burger Shop, would most likely have to show up every day to ensure that that business keeps running. So it becomes a different kind of income. And then the investors are people that simply have, money working for them instead of them really having to show up and work for their money. Now, we'd all like to get to where 90% of the wealth is, but according to Kiyosaki, statistically speaking, only about 10% of us ever get there. In fact, over the last few years, there were a lot of people who thought they were down in the investor quadrant that are back up in the employee quadrant again because their investments have not performed as well as they thought they were going to. So essentially what we do, and what my folks have done for many, many years all over the world, is teach people a way to move from the left side over to the right side of the quadrant without investing any significant capital, and while you keep your current source of income. That's the beautiful thing. This is not another job or something that you would have to do like a work from home opportunity because you already work from work. The idea is to create an income stream or something that can make you money without you having to quit your current source of income. And how we help people move from the left to the right side is through a business model that we call iCommerce. Okay. Now, the iCommerce business model differs from other business models in this way. In traditional business, let's say you have this pen manufactured by the Bic Pen Corporation. So they make this pen, let's say hypothetically for 20 cents. But they obviously don't sell the pen for 20 cents. They sell the pen for, let's say, $1. And much of the money would come and go to people that are sort of what we would consider middlemen. It goes through wholesalers often and goes to a retailer. It has to be advertised and shipped and whatever. And there are costs involved with doing business. So you and I pay a higher price than what the product is manufactured for. That's just normal business. I don't think anybody out there listening to me is going to be mad when you have to do that, because if you're going to buy a pen, you don't typically call the Bic Pen Corporation and order 2 pens. You typically would go to an Office Depot or somewhere like that and pick up the pen from there. Okay, now many of the billions of dollars that have been made over the last 30 or 40 years have not been made so much in inventing new products, although some have, but it's mainly been made in figuring out a better way to get the same products to people. Giving you a couple of examples of that, we've got the warehouse stores out there. They sell in bulk, right? And you buy large quantities of items for, usually a lower cost. And the idea is if you go there and shop with a forklift, you can save money. I kid. I mean, we've shopped there before as well. But the idea there is if you buy 5 or 6 peanut butters instead of 1 peanut butter, you're going to save money on your peanut butter by paying a membership fee for those. So that was one way they did it. And on the other end of the spectrum, we have companies like Walmart who do hundreds of billions of dollars in sales, not necessarily by inventing anything, but just by basically getting the same products to people, but being able to pass on the savings of, say, skipping over the wholesaler piece, pass those savings on to the consumer, and then they're able to do hundreds of billions of dollars a year in sales simply by changing out that middle piece there. Now, the company we're going to talk about today basically does a similar thing. What we do is change the middle portion by linking the manufacturers of thousands of products directly with the consumer, you and I, through a network of independent business owners. So basically what happens is you only need to buy 1 pen, but let's say hypothetically the business owners sell, thousands of pens. Well, then you would help get those pens at the thousands of pen price because they're not having to pay other advertisers, they're not having to pay wholesalers or any of those places in between. So that money is where we create our income. In other words, that's where the money comes from. It doesn't come out of thin air. It comes from that, 50 cents or so in the middle that is then passed on to independent business owners like myself. So the independent business owner network really creates sort of a larger buying power, and if I could liken it to something that most people have heard of is AAA. I stayed at a hotel the other night, and it was about $120. When I showed my AAA card at check-in, it was around $100. Why? Well, I'm only renting 1 room, but AAA would rent thousands of rooms. So they pass those savings on to me, and I get the 1 room at the thousands of rooms price. Now, the business works mainly because of 3 sort of key elements. The first one is the corporation we're going to talk about a little bit later, but let's just understand that they have about 12,000 employees around the world. They have millions of square feet in office space, right? They've created a multi-million-dollar website in a joint venture between IBM and Microsoft so that I didn't have to create it. And I don't have any employees, and I don't have any office space. So the company, which is a multi-billion-dollar enterprise, is able to do all those, money-consuming and major time-consuming elements of setting up infrastructure so that I don't have to, which is a beautiful thing. The second thing is the education that we're involved with. We're involved with an education company that has trained thousands of people all over the world. We'll get into more detail about that later. But suffice it to say, there's a way that we've helped people create their income using a solid system that's been used all over the world and has been time-tested. And then the third thing is the team of business owners that we work with. Those of us who work together with a vested interest in each other's success, because the only way for us to make money is to help you make money. And that's the beautiful thing here. It's not a sign-up game. We don't get money for making you buy large inventories of product up front. We don't get paid for being positionally above you. We only get paid for helping you create an income. And that's the beautiful symbiotic relationship we create here. Now, as far as the products and things that are available, there are partner stores that we have, which are not made by our company, but we do have relationships with them where you can actually go to our website and link to other websites like, Barnes & Noble and Office Depot and Bass Pro Shops and Dick's Sporting Goods and, Best Buy and Sears and many, many companies you've heard of. And basically what these companies do is they put a link on our website. We're able to go through our website like a web portal, click over to the, let's say, Barnes & Noble website, and then basically what they do is, as payment to you for going through our website to get to them, they're actually able to take a portion of some of the money that's on those items and actually pay it to you for purchasing your items through there. So if you bought a book for $10 at Barnes & Noble and you're able to go through our website to get it, it's going to cost you a little bit less because you went through our website and they're not having to pay major advertisement or have a brick and mortar store to be able to get the product out to you, which is great. So you get savings on things like cell phones and hotels and, and often many, many things that make this an absolute no-brainer thing to do because you're already purchasing many of these items anyway. More importantly, and where our main income is created, is from the products that we have the exclusive rights to market. Products that you can't get anywhere else except for through our website, which is wonderful. Oftentimes when you hear the term exclusive products, we can get a little concerned because sometimes the fake Cheerios that you buy at your grocery store maybe taste like cardboard or something. So we don't necessarily like those, but they're $1 cheaper than the real Cheerios, and so that's the image I want to get out of your head. Our products that we have the exclusive rights to market are incredible. Products like this ribbon book, what these are is little gift books that come in different denominations from around $24, $25 up to almost $1,000 and sort of lots of items in between. This one here happens to be an $80 book. So you would purchase this for $80, and the first thing you notice is it doesn't say $80 anywhere on the book. So that's kind of nice. Your friends don't actually know how much you like them. They maybe think you like them much more than you do, which is kind of nice, because oftentimes the gifts that are in here, or the perceived value of the gifts, is going to be higher than what you actually spent on the book. So it's pretty neat. So if you look in here, you give somebody this book as a gift, they open it up and they get to choose whatever gift they want out of here. So in this particular book, you have a video MP3 player, his and hers guest watches, a full set of Cuisinart knives. You've got an air compressor, a 3-piece set of luggage, a Vivitar digital camera, and on and on. There's many things in here. And all the person does to claim their gift is go to the website at the back, which is ordermygift.com. They type in the little redemption code that comes with the book, and then they're able to click on whatever gift they want out of this book. And oftentimes online, there'll be more gifts than what's actually here in the book. And so they click on the gift they want, and a short few days or a week or so later, they're going to have that item show up at their doorstep, and it's not going to charge them any shipping. So actually, this book ships free to anyone you send it to in the US, and then the item will actually ship to them as included as part of the cost. So for that $80, you're actually getting quite a high value gift, and it's really neat because the person gets to choose the gift that's right for them instead of you choosing the gift that's right for them. Unlike in many cases with a gift card, these ribbon books actually don't expire. And you don't have to try to spend the exact amount of money that's on a gift card. I don't know if you've ever tried to do that, but anybody that's ever tried to spend exactly $50 at the store you've gone into, that becomes a very difficult proposition. I don't know about you, but I always end up with a stack full of gift cards that have $2.26 on them that I'm never going to spend, because the gas it would take me to drive down to the store is probably going to cost more than the $2.26 I have left to spend at the store. Or worse yet, you go to a large electronics store like I do with a $50 gift card, and you end up buying a $750 plasma TV because I had the $50 to go towards the TV. I have a little trouble convincing my wife of that one, but I've done it 4 or 5 times now, and so it becomes a little difficult. Here, you don't get in any trouble. You just pick the gift that's in there. We have them for lots of special occasions. There's a wedding one called I Do. There's a baby one called Arrival. Got wonderful gifts for a new mom or for a new couple that just got married, and you don't have to worry about going to one of those big retail stores and picking off the 10-point font, the things that they registered for, because most of the time, one of the things they registered for will probably be in the book. So it ends up being a really, really neat gift idea. We use them a ton at Christmas for birthdays and anniversaries or anything else, and these are only available on our website. We also have a line of vitamins and supplements called Nutrilite, which actually is the world's leading brand of vitamins and supplements, which is pretty incredible considering we're only sold through word-of-mouth advertising through this independent business owner network. I've actually been to their plant, which is pretty incredible, and anybody can tour a place called the Center for Optimal Health in California, which is a multi-million-dollar facility where you can actually go in and with your own eyes see how the company manufactures their vitamins and minerals. It's pretty incredible. We have a line of skincare called Artistry, which is in the top 5 prestige brands of skincare in the world, which is, again, pretty incredible considering we're only sold through word of mouth. We have done a little bit of advertising through the company with the Miss America pageant and actually partner with them a couple years running. So pretty great. A large presence out there, but sold by our network of independent business owners and through our website exclusively. So people can't get those products anywhere else, and they really, really are amazing. We also have a line of energy drinks called Excess. They're a pretty incredible product line that have no carbs and no sugar. The energy comes mostly from vitamin B. There are 2 flavors that are completely caffeine free. The rest of them have only a very minimal amount of caffeine in them, which means your energy comes from more natural sources, which is great. And they have many, many flavors, including a cranberry grape and citrus and tropical and black cherry cola and root beer and many, many others. So they're going to have a taste of something you like and probably going to be much healthier than drinking those sodas that most people are drinking all the time. There are several products actually, like our laundry soap, which is called Legacy of Clean. It has, does many, many loads of laundry, and it's high efficiency, and it's an incredible laundry line. We also have another cleaner, which is our Legacy of Clean cleaner, all-purpose cleaner, made with things that are not harsh for the environment, but will clean just about anything and any surface. And those were more of the products that were popular back in the day with the company that actually owns and manufactures all these companies that I just talked about, called Amway. Now, Amway is a company many people have heard of, and Amway as it existed in the 50s, started in 59, the 60s, 70s, 80s, and even into the 90s, was a little different business model than the way we do things today. People were given the products, and then they would actually distribute those products to clients and business owners in their networks themselves. So it was a lot more hands-on with the products, but obviously that was kind of how it had to be done, because in those days, they didn't have the internet or the ability to direct fulfill products in people's hands. So you had to buy larger quantities of those things as a leader in the organization, and then you would give those products or sell those products to other people in your network or to customers. Nowadays, we actually get the products shipped directly from the company. So you're able to order all these incredible Amway cleaning products and laundry products that made them famous for years, along with the Excess and the Neutralite and the Ribbon and the Artistry and many, many other product lines that we haven't mentioned here today because we don't have time, as well as going to the same website to get everything you need from all the partner stores I mentioned earlier, which is just incredible. So when I say we have nearly everything on our website, I mean we have nearly everything on our website, from cell phone discounts all the way down to Q-tips and cotton balls and everything in between, which is really, really nice knowing that there's something for everybody here, including many things I didn't even have a chance to mention today. And one of the three key elements I referenced earlier before we get into how the money is made is the education side. That's provided by a company called Network 21, which has provided strategies for people building their Amway businesses all over the world for over 20 years now. And what's incredible is they have a proven track record of helping people become successful in the Amway business by following their strategies and their principles for success that have been time tested and shown to work all over the world. Now, if we talk about how the money is made, every product that you get through the business or service or whatever is going to have a point value associated with it. And essentially at the end of the month, and I'm oversimplifying a bit here, but those points essentially convert to cash. Okay, so that's it. So right now you go to your local store and you buy products for no points and no money. Now you can go to your own store and buy products for points and money, which becomes a major, major no-brainer of the century, because the first way to get points is simply to buy from yourself. Now, a very, very high percentage of people we talk to think, wait a minute, there's no downside? No, there's no downside. You buy your, Q-tips, cotton balls, and energy drinks for points instead of buying them without points. That's not a very scary concept. We find most people pretty amicable to that. Now, that's not going to make you a large sum of money. Obviously, if you want to create income here, or if you don't want it to just be a way to, save some money on your products, but you want to be able to also make money from the products, the next two ways to create points are how we do that. The second way is to specialize and develop some clients. Now, I'm not necessarily trying to recruit a sales force here, right? You probably have a big boy or girl job, so the idea is that you want to go around your neighborhood with a wagon selling vitamins. What we're saying is, take one of those ribbon books I mentioned earlier. If you're going to be going to a wedding, you buy one of the I Do ribbon books and you give it to the new couple getting married. Invariably, they open it, like it, whatever, and they say, hey, I'm going to a wedding in a couple of weeks. Where can I get one of those? Well, that's not where I would put your ribbon shirt and hat on and launch into a 2-hour speech about your, ribbon books that you now sell. Instead, what I would say is, actually, I have a website that markets those. You send them a link to your personalized website, retail website, which you get through when you join with the business. And you send them there, they buy the book, the product ships to them, and the company sends you a check for the retail profit, plus you get some points. Or let's say you have some friends come over to your house and they drink a couple of the energy drinks and they like them. Again, that's not the time to launch in about your 2-hour speech about the vitamin B fortified energy drinks you now sell. Instead, you say, actually, those are not available at any stores, but I actually have a company that sells those. You go over, send them to your personalized website, they buy the product, the company ships the product to them, and you actually get the retail profit for selling them that product. So there are many ways to do that without it having to greatly impact your life, but very easy ways to sell products that we do all the time. Sales is not as scary as it used to be. We're not saying that you're going to go around and directly necessarily sell things to people, but often like you would recommend a good restaurant, or you would recommend the school that your children go to for another family to go there, except the difference is here you get paid for it. And then the third way to create points, and often a lucrative way, is to refer other people, right, who duplicate 1 and 2. Well, the good news is we're not referring them to do anything they don't already do. I'm going to go out on a limb and assume most of your friends are hygienic. So if they are, and they do brush their teeth and use mouthwash and wash their clothes, they can now brush their teeth, use mouthwash, and wash their clothes for points instead of without points. I don't know about you, but I don't generally have a lot of friends that get mad at me about showing them how to buy their household products for points. And then, once they discover that these products are as good as we say they are, they will often recommend them to other friends and people they know, who will then go on and buy the products themselves, and they're able to create an income from the sales portion. So the referral side is just not that scary. We find a very high percentage of the people we talk to get in at least just to buy the products for themselves, and often to be able to market those products once they discover that they're as good as we say they are. Now, the points that I reference go in a sliding scale, as you can see, from 100 to 7,500 points, and the percentage bonuses go from 3% to 25%. Now, as far as how the income is made, you can actually reference Network 21 has a DVD that you can pick up that will tell you everything you need to know about how the income is actually created based on that bonus scale. Okay, but we have a strategy that we recommend through Network 21 called the Team 21 approach. And what that basically means is you're going to join a team, whether that be a team of 1 or 2 people or a team of, many more than that. You're going to join an existing team of people who are going to help you with building your business. Remember what we said earlier, they're paid based on helping you create some income. And so what we do is, as we begin to, if you choose to refer people to the business, which is optional, as you begin to refer people, we're going to segment the people you know into a few different lists, maybe a church list and a family list and a friends list or something like that. And we're going to keep like-minded people together and introduce them down a few different teams so that we don't get to the point where you're maybe getting spread too thin and you've got too many teams to work with. But if you have too few teams, you're not going to be as profitable. So we want to help you segment your list into a few different areas and a few different teams, and then keep those like-minded people together. Now, no matter how much money you want to make, that's not to decide right now. Obviously, we can help you make any amount of income you'd like, be it anywhere from a couple $100s a month to thousands of dollars a month, or anything in between. But that's sort of going to be up to you and not having to be decided today. The point about today is to say almost everybody we talk to decides to get a number. I mean, there is no downside to getting a number, right? And you basically, for a couple $100s or under a couple $100s, you can start a business that's going to help you either create some income through sales or through referring people, or it's going to help you save some money on the products that you're already buying and introduce you to some new products that you may not have tried yet and give you access to those at the independent business owner cost. And all of that for under a couple $100s is pretty incredible, considering the income potential that's there if you choose to put some work into this. And again, that depends on you. After this meeting, we get together with you. We're going to go over more details, and we do what's called a startup meeting. And at the startup is where you tell us what you want to get from the business. If you want to make a significant amount of money over the coming 6 to 12 months, then we're going to take a little different track than if you just want to, buy your toothpaste and laundry soap for points and maybe refer a couple of clients. That will just take a few minutes. We'll show you how to work the website and explain a little more in detail how the money works, and we can move on. But suffice it to say, there's going to be something here of interest to everybody, and even the opportunity itself has a money-back guarantee. Anytime in the first 90 days, if you decide you're not completely satisfied with what you've seen through the company, you're able to return your membership to the company for a refund, minus some taxes and some other things that are in there of a small nominal amount of money, and you're able to return the product pack that you get when you register as well, which contains lots of our product brands that you can try and sample for yourself, so you get a chance to see the type of high-quality products we're talking about. But even those, if you go through them all and you decide you're not satisfied, you're able to get your money back. So that's why we say it truly is no risk. It's not no risk except for the couple $100. It's no risk including the couple $100 or less it's going to cost you to start this business, which is what we believe makes this the most incredible opportunity around. So I hope you'll fill out your registration form, get signed up today, and talk to the person that sent you this video to get more information to specifying what you need and what you want from this opportunity.